welcome to my channel. Today we are going to read chapter 2 of The Silver Eyes. Whoop. Chapter 2. Charlie pulled to stop, feeling the soft give of dirt under her tires and turned off the car. She got out and surveyed their surroundings. The sky was rich, dark blue. The last trails of the sunset streaking off to the west. The parking lot was unpaved, and before them lay a sparkling monster of a building, a rising arc of glass and concrete. There were lamps in the parking lot that had never been used, and no light shone out onto the lot. The building itself looked like an abandoned sanctuary, embossed in black trees amid the distant roar of civilization. She looked at Jessica in the passenger seat, who was craning her neck out the window. "Is this the right place?" Jessica asked. Charlie shook her head slowly, not quite certain what she was seeing. "I don't know," she whispered. Charlie got in the car and stood in silence as John and Carton pulled up beside her. "What is this?" John stepped out of the car cautiously and stared blankly at the monument. "Does anyone have a flashlight?" He looked at each of them. Carton held up his keychain and waved around a feeble glow of the penlight for a minute. "Great," Charlie grumbled, walking around with resignation. "Hold on a sec, Kate," Charlie said, and went around in her trunk. "My Aunt May makes me carry around a bunch of stuff for emergencies." Aunt Jen, loving but secure, had taught Charlie self-reliance above almost everything else. Before she let Charlie leave her blue Honda, she insisted that Charlie know how to change the tire, check the oil, and know the basic parts of the engine. In the truck, a black box tucked in next to the jack, spare tire, and small crowbar, she had a blanket, a heavy police-issue flashlight, bottled water, granola bars, matches, and emergency flares. Charlie grabbed the flashlight. Carton grabbed the granola bar. Almost by silent agreement, they began to walk up the building's perimeter, Charlie holding up the light in a steady beam in front of them. The building itself looked mostly finished, but the ground was all dirt and rock, even and soft. Charlie shone the light on the ground where grass had grown patchy in the dirt, inches long. No one had been digging for a while, Charlie said. The place was massive and it took a long time to circumnavigate. It wasn't long before the rich blue of the evening was overtaken by a blanket of sacred silver clouds and stars. The surfaces of the buildings were all the same smooth beige concrete with windows too high up to the wall on the walls to see inside. "Did they really build this whole thing and just leave?" Jessica said. Carlton, said John. "You really don't know anything about what happened." Carlton showed expectantly. "I told you. I knew there was construction, but I don't know anything else." "Why would they do this?" John seemed almost paranoid, scouting the trees as though eyes might be looking back at him. It just goes on and on. He squinted, gazing along the outside of the building, which seemed to stretch endlessly into the distance. He glanced back to the trees as if making sure he hadn't missed the building somehow. "No, it was here." He placed his hands on the drab concrete facing. "It's gone." After a moment, he gestured to the others and began to walk back the way they came. Reluctantly, Charlie turned back following the group. They kept going until they could see the cars ahead, again, up ahead in the darkness. Sorry, guys. I hope there would be at least be something familiar. Carlton said exhaustively. Yeah, Charlie said. She had known it would be, but seeing that Freddie had been razed to the ground was still a shock. It was so paramount sometimes in her mind that she wanted to get rid of it, wanted to scrub the memories, good and bad, from her head, as if they had never been. Now, someone had scrubbed it from the landscape, and it felt like a violation. It should have been up to her. Right, she thought, because you had money to buy it and preserve it, like Jen did with the house. Charlie? John was saying her name, and it sounded like he was repeating it. Sorry, she said. What were you saying? Do you want to go inside? Jessica asked. Charlie was surprised. They were only now considering this, but then again, none of them was usually prone to criminal activity. The thought was a relief, and she took a deep breath, speaking on her exhale. Why not? She asked, almost laughing. She held the flashlight. Her arms were getting tired. Anyone else want to turn? She waved it back and forth like a penumbrum. Carlton grabbed it and took a moment to appreciate its weight. Why is this so heavy? He said, passing off to John. Here you go. It's a police flashlight, Charlie said, absently. You can hit people with it. Jessica wrinkled her nose. John really wasn't kidding around, huh? Ever used it? Not yet, Charlie winked, and made a half-threatening glance at John, who returned with a uncertain half-smile, unsure how to react. These wide entrances were sealed with hammered metal doors, no doubt intended to be temporary until construction was finished. Still, it wasn't difficult to find a way in, since very large mounds of gravel and sand sealed the walls, leading right up to the edges of the large gaping window. Not trying hard to keep people out, John said. What's anyone going to steal? Charlie said, staring at the blank, towering walls. They climbed the hill slowly. The gravel shifted and sliding beneath their feet as they went. Carlton reached the window first and peered through. Jessica looked over his shoulder. Can we drop down? John said. Yes, Carlton. No, Jessica said, at precisely the same time. I'll go, Charlie said. She felt reckless. Without looking through to see how far the fall was, she put her feet through the opening and let herself down. She landed beneath bed. The impact rocked her, but it did not hurt. She looked up at her friend staring down. Oh, hang on, Charlie said, pulling a short step ladder from the wall nearby and setting it under the window. Okay, she said. Come on. They dropped down one by one and looked around them. Inside was an atrium, or maybe it would have become a food court with metal benches and plastic tables scattered around. Some bolted to the floor. The ceiling rose up high above them, with a glass roof where they could see stars peering down at them. Very post-apocalyptic, Charlie joked, her voice echoing in the open space. Jessica sang a brief, wordless scale suddenly, startling them all into silence. Her voice rang out pure and clear, something beautiful in the emptiness. Very nice, but let's not call too much attention on ourselves, John said. Right, Jessica said, still very happy with herself. As they walked on, Carlton swept up and took her arm. Your voice is amazing, he said. It's just good acoustics, Jessica said, attempting humility, but not meaning a word of it. humbly. They walked the empty halls, peering into each of the massive cavities where a department store might have been. Some parts of the mall had almost finished, while others were in shambles. Some hallways were littered with piles of dusty concrete bricks and stacks of wood. Others were linted with glass paneled storefronts, lights hanging in perfect rows above their head. It's like a lost city, John said. Like Pompeii, said Jessica, just without the volcano. No, Charlie said, there's nothing here. The whole place had a sterile feel to it. I was not abandoned. It had never sustained life at all. She looked in a store window across from her, one of the few with glass, wondering what would have been displayed. She managed mannequins dressed in bright clothes, but when she tried to picture them, all she could see was the blank faces, concealing something. She suddenly felt out of place, unwelcomed by the building itself. Charlie began to feel reckless, some of the luster wearing off the adventure. They had come. Freddie was gone, and so was the shrine she had kept in her thoughts, where she could still find Michael playing where she last saw him.
Hey, Mommy.
John suddenly stopped suddenly, turning off the flashlight as carefully as he could. He put a finger to his lip, motioning for silence. He gestured back the way they had come. In the distance, they saw a small light bobbing in the darkness like a ship in the fog. Someone else is here, he hissed. A night guard, maybe? Carson whispered. Why would an abandoned building need a guard? Charlie wondered. Kids probably come here to party, Carson said. Then grinned. I would have come to party too, if I'd known about it. Or if I partied. Okay, well, let's backtrack slowly, John said. Jessica, he started, then made a zip-it across his lips. They continued down the hallway, this time only a dimmer light of Carlton's kitchen. Wait, Jessica stopped with a whisper, looking intently at the wall for a moment. Something's not right. Yeah, no giant pretzels. I know, Carlton seemed sincere. Jessica waved a hand at him impatiently. No, something isn't right about the architecture. She took several steps back, trying to see the whole of it. Something is definitely not right, she repeated. Bigger on the outside. Bigger on the outside, Charlie repeated, sounding puzzled. I mean, there's a big difference between where the inside wall is and where the outside wall is. Look, Jessica had ran along the length of the wall between where two stones would have been. There would have been a store here and a store there. John pointed to the obvious, not understanding the problem. But there's something in the middle, Jessica explained, beating her hands against the empty portion of the wall. This part juts out into the parking lot, like the stores on each side. There's no way into it. You're right. Charlie stared, walking towards Jessica, studying the wall. There should be another entrance here. And Jessica dropped her voice, so only Charlie could hear her. About the same size as Freddie's, don't you think? Charlie's eyes widened, and she took a quick step back from Jessica. What are you two whispering about? Carlton stepped closer. We're talking about you, Jessica said sharply, and they walked into one of the vacant department stores that seemed to sandwich to see what's space. Come on, she said. Let's take a look. They started combing the wall as the group clustered around a tiny light. Charlie was not sure what to hope for, and Jen had warned her about coming out. She didn't encourage Charlie to skip the memorial, not directly, but she wasn't pleased that Charlie was returning. Just be careful, Jen said. some things, some memories, are best left undisturbed. Is that why you kept Dad's house? Charlie thought about. Is that why you kept paying for it, leaving it untouched like some shrine, but never visiting it? Hey! John said, dressily running inside to catch up with the rest. Hide! The light was out in the hall again, bobbing up and down, and it was coming closer. Charlie glanced around. And they were already too deep inside the massive store to get out in time. And there seemed to be nowhere to hide. Here, here, Jessica whispered. There was a break in the wall, beside a rig of scaffolding, and they hurried into it, squeezing past stacks of open boxes and sheets of plastic hanging from the ceiling. They made their way down what appeared to be a makeshift hallway just on the other side of the department store wall. It was really more like an alley. It was incongruous with the rest of the mall. Not shiny, but new, but dank and musty. One of the walls was made of the same concrete as the outside of the building. The door was rough and unfinished, and the other was exposed brick. Some parts faded smooth with age, others with a mortar crumbling, leaving chinks and holes. Heavy wooden shelves of cleaning equipment stood against the wall, listing to the side, their boards sinking under the weight of old paint cans and mysterious buckets. Something was dripping from uncovered pipes overhead, leaving puzzles that they all stepped carefully around. A mouse scuffled by, almost running over Carlton's foot. Carlton made a strangled sound, hand over his mouth. They crouched down behind one of the wooden shelving units, pressed up against the wall. Charlie dozed the light waited. She took shallow breaths, perfectly still, watching and wishing she had picked a better position to freezing. After a few minutes, her legs started to go numb under her, and Carlton was so close that she could smell the light, pleasant scent of her shampoo. That's nice, she whispered. Thanks, Carlton said, knowing really what she was referring to. It comes in ocean breeze and tropical paradise. I prefer ocean breeze, but it dries the scalp. Hush, John whispered. Charlie wasn't sure why she was so worried. It was just a night guard and not the roof. They would be asked to leave, maybe yelled at a little. She had an overblown aversion to getting into trouble. The bombing line came closer. Charlie was accurately aware of her body, holding every muscle motionless. Suddenly she could make out a thin figure leaning in from the great room outside. He shone his light in a long beam down the hallway, sweeping it up and down the walls. Hello? We're good, right? He got us, Charlie thought. But inexplicably he turned and went, apparently satisfied. They waited another few minutes, but there was nothing. He was gone. They all moved slowly out of the crouched position, stretching limbs that had gone to sleep. Carlton shook one foot vigorously until he could stand on it. Charlie looked down at Jessica, who was still hunched over, as if frozen in time. Jessica, are you okay? She whispered. Jessica looked up, smiling. You won't believe this. She was pointing at the wall, and Charlie leaned over to see. There, etched in warm brick, were clumsy letters, almost illegible, in a child's handiwork. Carlton laughed like these. You have to be kidding me, John whispered enough, turning to face the wall and placed both hands against it. I recognize these bricks, he laughed. These are the same bricks. His smile faded. They didn't tear it down. They built around it. It's still here? Jessica unsuccessfully tried to keep her voice down. There has to be a way in, she added. her eyes wide with almost childish excitement. Charlie shone the flashlight up and down the hallway, playing the light off each wall, but there was no break in no door. There was a back door to Freddy's, John said. Marlowe wrote that right next to the back door, right? Why didn't they just knock it down? Does this hallway just lead nowhere? Jessica said, puzzled. It's the story of my life, Carlton said lightly. Wait. Charlie ran her fingers along the edge of the shelf, peering through the odds and ends crammed into it. The wall behind it looked different. It was metal, not brick. Right here, she stepped back and looked at the other. Help me move it. John and Jessica pressed one side in a unified effort, and she and Colton pulled on the other. It was immensely heavy, laden with clean, supplies, knowledge, weapons, and nails, and tools, but it slid further down the hall almost easily without intention. Jessica stepped back, breathing hard. John, give me the big light again. He handed it over, and she turned it back on, aiming with that where the shelf had stood. This is it, she said. It was the metal and rusting, splattering with paint, a stark contrast to the walls around it. There was only a hole where the handle had gone. Someone must have removed it so that the shelf could lie flush against the door. Silently, Charlie handed the flashlight back to John, and he held it above her head so she could see. She slipped around the others and tried to squeeze her fingers into the hole where the doorknob once was, trying to pull it in open to know it. It's not going to open, she said. John was behind her, peering over her shoulder. Just a second, he squeezed himself into the space between her and knocked carefully. I don't think it's locked or anything, he said. I think it's just rusty. Look at it. The door extended all the way to the floor. Its bottom raged and unfinished. The hinges were on the other side, and the edges were caked in rust. It looked like as though it had not been opened in years. John and Charlie pulled on it together and it moved a fraction of an inch. Yay! Jessica exclaimed, almost shouting, and covered her mouth. Sorry, she said in a whisper, containing my excitement. They took turns pulling on it, leaning over one another, the metal scraping their fingers. The door held for a long moment, then it came loose under their weight, swinging open slowly with an unearthly shriek. Charlie looked nervously over his shoulder, but the guard did not appear. The door opened only about a foot wide, and they went one by one until all four were through. Inside, the air changed, then they all stopped short. Ahead of them was a dark hallway for memories. Is this? Jessica whispered, not taking her eyes from the dark expanse. It's here, Charlie thought. She held out her hand for the flashlight, and John handed it to her wordlessly. She shone the light ahead of them, sweeping the walls. They were covered in children's drawings, crayon on yellow curling paper. She started toward the others followed, feet shuffling an old tile. It seemed to take forever to traverse the hall. Perhaps it was just that they were moving slowly, with methodical, deliberate steps. Eventually, the hallway opened up into a larger expanse, the dining room. It was just as they remembered it, completely preserved. The flashlight beam bounced off 1,000 little things, reflective, glittered, or toppled with foil ribbon. The tables were still in place, covered in their silver and white checkered cloth. The chairs were pulled up to them haphazardly, some tables with too many and others with too few. It looked as though the room had been abandoned in the middle of the lunch hour. Everyone had gotten up, expecting to return, but never did. They walked in cautiously, breathing cold, stale air that had been trapped inside for a decade. The whole restaurant gave off a sense of abandonment. No one was coming back. There was a small merry-go-round barely visible in the distant corner with 4 child-sized ponies still at rest from the last song. In an instant, Charlie froze in place.